They don't beat you. They steer you. One insult in front of the wrong people. One fake accusation dropped like a match in dry grass. One guilt trip delivered with a smile. And suddenly you're not in control anymore, you're performing. Explaining. Defending. Proving you're not that guy. That's how dirty players win, not with strength, but with triggers. Watch what happens in real life. The manipulator stays calm, soft-voiced, reasonable. You get louder. Your face changes. Your paragraphs get longer. Your tone gets sharper. And the room doesn't hear your truth, they see your instability. That's the humiliation nobody talks about. You can be right and still lose, because you looked emotional while they looked composed. In social warfare, composure is status. The man who holds frame holds authority. The man who loses frame becomes the story. Dirty people understand this instinctively. They don't come for your muscles, they come for your reputation, your timing, your image, your access to respect. They provoke you publicly because public reactions create witnesses. They bait you privately because private chaos creates leverage. Either way, they're fishing for one thing, evidence. A screenshot. A voice note. A moment they can replay and frame as your real character. And here's the poison, once they've framed you, every move you make looks like guilt. Silence looks like hiding. Calm looks like calculation. Anger looks like confession. They set the rules, then punish you for playing. This is why most men keep losing to the same type of person, in different bodies. They never learn the game until it's late. Most men walk into this trap because they still believe fairness protects them. They think being honest is enough. They think explaining will clear it up. But dirty players don't seek clarity, they seek control. And control starts when they can predict you, when they know exactly which button makes you speak, chase, apologize, or explode. If you've ever felt that slow-burning anger of being disrespected on purpose, then blamed for reacting, you already know this is real. The question is whether you stay readable, or you become dangerous in a quieter way. Today I'm giving you 10 mental tricks, Machiavellian, ruthless, and clean, designed to make you unbaitable, unframeable, and hard to play with. The first trick is the one most men refuse to do, because it feels like weakness. It isn't. It's power. If you're done getting steered, comment unbaitable. Now listen carefully. Before you fight them, you must understand the battlefield, because this isn't about truth, it's about control. Most men think they're losing because they're not loud enough. They're losing because they're too readable. Dirty tactics exist for one reason. They work in a world where attention is currency and perception decides who gets respect. A dirty player doesn't need to defeat you, he needs to make you look defeated. He uses social proof, rumors, subtle insults, and concerned questions to plant doubt in other people's minds. He frames you as unstable, selfish, or incompetent, then watches the room treat you accordingly. That is reputation warfare, and it's happening around you every day, at work, in friendships, in family politics, in dating. If you still believe every conflict is about truth, you'll keep walking into traps designed around emotion. This isn't a call to become evil. It's a call to become ungovernable. To stop being the kind of man whose mood can be hijacked, whose mouth can be baited, whose image can be rewritten by someone with better timing. Machiavelli's core lesson is brutal but useful. Power is perception plus positioning plus timing. Perception is how you are seen. Positioning is where you stand in the social hierarchy and who stands with you. Timing is when you speak, when you act, and when you let silence do the damage. Most men obsess over being understood. Strategic men obsess over outcomes. In the next 10 tricks, you're going to climb a ladder. First you stop donating reactions. Then you control information, because words become weapons. Then you control narrative, because the first frame spreads fastest. Then you control access, because leverage requires proximity. And finally you control outcomes, because consequences are the only language dirty players respect. You won't need paranoia. You'll need discipline. Calm eyes. Clean words. Cold patience. And once you see the game, you stop taking it personally, start winning. Now we start the first trick, because the moment you react, you hand them the steering wheel. Your reaction is evidence. Evidence becomes a weapon. The manipulator understands one law: if he can rush you, he can rule you. He creates urgency, an accusation in public, a disrespectful message at midnight, "we need to talk," delivered like a threat, because urgency makes you sloppy. You fire back, and now he has a screenshot. You defend yourself, and now he has a quote. You explain, and now he has a story. Trick 1 is the tactical pause. Not a passive silence. A controlled delay that keeps your face neutral and your mind awake. The protocol is simple. First, freeze the impulse, inhale, loosen your jaw, don't type, don't speak. Second, name the tactic in your head: bait, guilt, framing, triangulation. Naming kills the spell. Third, buy time on purpose: "I'll respond later," send it in writing, "not discussing this right now." Then you choose the move that serves your outcome: short sentence, hard boundary, or no response at all. Weak men react to protect pride. Strong men respond to protect position. The pause tells the room you are not programmable. It forces the other side to show their hand, because when the hook doesn't catch, they pull harder. Let them. Their escalation becomes your proof, not your shame. You don't need to win the moment, you need to keep the frame. Composure is a shield and a signal. It tells predators you can't be steered by emotion. It tells witnesses you're stable. And it gives you the seconds needed to see the trap. And the man who keeps the frame keeps the power. Once your reaction is sealed, the next leak is your mouth, because words become weapons in dirty hands. Every word you say is a card you reveal. Dirty players are professional card counters. They collect your words like ammunition for later. They don't listen to understand, they listen to store. Your late-night confession becomes tomorrow's leverage. Your honest apology becomes admission. Your frustrated sentence becomes the quote they repeat when they need you to look unstable. That's why trick 2 is silence as information control. Not passive, strategic. You stop giving speeches. You stop writing paragraphs to someone who already decided you're wrong. You stop defending yourself to an audience that wants entertainment, not truth. The fox survives by revealing nothing while observing everything. So you do the same: short answers, hard boundaries, a calm tone. If they demand an explanation, you don't feed the hunger. You let the silence hang. Silence protects you from self-incrimination. You can't be misquoted if you don't give material. And silence pressures the manipulator. They can't tolerate a vacuum, because they can't control what they can't read. So they talk. They overtalk. They add details you never asked for. They contradict themselves trying to fill the space. The more they speak, the more intent leaks out. Let it leak. Your job is to listen, document, and stay neutral. When you finally speak, make it a sentence that improves position, not a monologue that pours emotion. Say it once. Then stop. If you want an identity line to live by, take this: "I move in silence." Silence protects you privately, but dirty players try to win publicly. That's why trick 3 is narrative control. Facts matter less than framing in the first 24 hours. Dirty players understand that if they speak first, they don't need to be right, they just need to be believed. They weaponize whispers, concern, and selective screenshots to occupy your reputation before you even know there's a war. So trick 3 is simple: frame first. Not by bragging. By positioning. Your reputation is territory. It decides who listens to you, who trusts you, who gives you opportunities, and who assumes you're guilty. Emotional men try to win with facts, and they lose because they look defensive. Strategic men win with frame, and facts arrive later as reinforcement. Your move is calm consistency. Keep your behavior clean and repeatable. Don't give them public scenes, because public scenes become headlines. Don't chase every lie, because chasing makes you look hunted. If you must speak, speak once, early, and clean. One sentence that defines reality without emotion, then stop. That's not accurate. I'm handling it privately. I won't discuss rumors. If you have an issue, put it in writing. No sarcasm. No rage. No long explanation they can clip. The goal is to look boring to the crowd and unshakable to the decision-makers. While they perform emotion, you perform stability. You don't win by shouting louder, you win by being the man others bet on when the noise fades and the truth finally lands. Then return to your normal pace like nothing shook you. Quietly document. Quietly build credibility with the right people. Let your track record do the heavy lifting. When you act like a stable man under pressure, the room starts doubting the unstable story. This is Machiavellian power without chaos: control perception, control access, control outcome. Now that you understand framing, you must learn the enemy's fingerprint, because dirty players repeat patterns. They don't change. They rotate tactics. The power of dirty people isn't intelligence, it's repetition. They run the same plays on different men, and most men still get shocked like it's new. Trick 4 is pattern recognition, because the moment you name the tactic, the spell breaks. Triangulation is one of their favorites. They pull a third person into it, everyone agrees, people are sane, so you feel isolated and pressured. Then come guilt hooks. They make you feel cruel for having boundaries, selfish for protecting time, arrogant for defending yourself. Guilt is control wearing a moral mask. Another rotation is moving goalposts. No apology is enough, no explanation is clear enough, no compromise is final. The goal was never resolution, it was endless negotiation. Gaslighting comes next: deny, rewrite, confuse, make you question your memory until you doubt your own reality. Passive sabotage is quieter, forgetting information, delaying what matters, smiling while positioning you to fail. And when they want maximum damage, they whisper. Reputation attacks don't need evidence, they need repetition. Here's the rule that saves you: watch behavior over words. Outcomes over apologies. How do they act when you say no? Do they respect limits or punish you for them? Do they correct misunderstandings or harvest them? Once you stop listening to the performance and start tracking the pattern, you stop taking it personally. Confusion is their smoke screen. Clarity is your weapon. Name it, document it, and you'll feel your emotions detach from the hook. And when the pattern is clear, the next move becomes ruthless and obvious. You don't fix a manipulator. You remove their leverage. Once you see the pattern, you do the most ruthless thing possible: you remove access. No access, no control. Manipulation isn't magic, it's leverage, and leverage needs a handle. Time. Attention. Proximity. Your emotional availability. Dirty players don't dominate guarded men. They dominate men who are always reachable, always explaining, always trying to be fair with someone who isn't playing fair. Trick 5 is ruthless protection: cut access without debate. Don't announce a boundary 10 times like you're requesting permission. Enforce it once like a man who owns his life. Reduce contact. Slow your replies. Remove the private meetings where they can twist your words and later deny the tone. Keep communication clean, short, and written when necessary. If it must be in person, keep it witnessed. Clarity kills their ability to rewrite history. Most men lose here because they negotiate with guilt. They keep the door cracked open, to be mature, and the manipulator slides his foot in every time. Understand this: a boundary you bargain over is not a boundary, it's a suggestion. And dirty people treat suggestions as invitations. Cut emotional access too. Stop venting to them. Stop confessing weakness to them. Stop showing anger like a flare they can track. The less they can read, the less they can steer. You're not being cold, you're being sovereign. Protecting your peace is not cruelty. It's self-respect. And expect the pattern: when you cut access, they escalate. They guilt harder, smear louder, bait faster, because control is slipping. Don't rush to answer. Hold the gate. Say it once, then live it: access denied. When you cut access, they escalate, so trick 6 is timing: never move on their schedule, ever again. When you cut access, the manipulator's next weapon is urgency. He wants you to answer now, in public, with emotion in your throat, because a rushed response becomes the mess he can blame on you. Timing warfare means you refuse his tempo. You don't swing when he claps his hands. You wait, watch, and choose the ground. Machiavelli understood that perception is shaped in moments of pressure. Roman generals understood something even colder: the battlefield decides who wins, not the screaming. Impulsive men charge and feel brave, then lose the war. Strategic men delay and look passive, then take the outcome. So you slow everything down, you document. Screenshots, dates, exact quotes, witnesses, patterns. Not because you're petty, but because precision turns emotion into leverage. You let them talk themselves into contradictions. You watch who joins their story and who stays silent. You learn what they want, your apology, your panic, your public outburst, your resignation. And once you know the objective, you can deny it. Then you act once. Cleanly. No long paragraphs. No drama. A boundary enforced at the right time. A report filed when your evidence is solid. A conversation held with the right eyes present. A door closed without anger. This is how you win without looking like a villain. Calm moves, clear proof, controlled consequences. Wait long enough and they reveal everything, because desperate people always overplay their hand. And when you control timing, you control framing, leverage, and aftermath. Now you'll learn a brutal psychological move. You don't answer their accusations, you interrogate their intent. Questions are traps for liars. A dirty player survives on fog, implication, vague accusations, emotional pressure, and the hope that you'll start defending yourself before anything is proven. Trick 7 is to flip the burden. You don't chase their story. You pin it to the wall with precision. When they accuse you, don't answer the emotion. Answer the structure. What exactly are you accusing me of? Make them name it. What's your proof? Make them produce it. Who told you that? Make them reveal the pipeline. When did this happen? Force a timeline. What outcome do you want? Expose the objective. These questions do 3 things at once. First, they slow the tempo. Manipulation needs speed, questions apply brakes. Second, they drain emotion from the room. You stop acting like a defendant and start acting like an investigator. Third, they force commitment. Once a manipulator commits to specifics, he can be checked, contradicted, and exposed. If he stays vague, you stay calm and let the vagueness make him look weak. Notice the contrast: weak men defend to look innocent. Strong men demand clarity to protect position. You don't need to convince everyone. You need to make the liar uncomfortable speaking. And the moment he's uncomfortable, he starts slipping, adding details, changing details, blaming others, scrambling to keep the frame. Let him scramble. Your questions are not a conversation, they're a cage. You are building a record, not trading feelings. When you respond this way, you stop being easy to frame, because you refuse to play the role they assigned you. And once they're forced into specifics, you secure your position socially, because wars are won with allies and credibility. After you force them into specifics, the next battlefield is social gravity, who believes whom when the smoke spreads. Dirty players isolate targets because isolation makes framing easy. If you're alone, every rumor lands like truth. Trick 8 is controlled alliances, quiet witnesses, not loud friends. You don't recruit an emotional mob. A mob creates noise, and noise creates mistakes. You build a small circle of credibility, people who see your pattern, your calm, your consistency. This starts with how you live. Show up on time. Keep your word. Keep your tone clean. When your conduct is stable, accusations sound unstable. Then you practice selective disclosure. You don't vent to everyone, you share only what's necessary, with the right people, in the right format. Written clarity beats heated conversation. Witnessed conversations beat private traps. If something matters, money, work, boundaries, agreements, get it documented. Not as paranoia, as insurance. Because a dirty player's favorite weapon is, "I never said that." Take that weapon away. The point isn't to be liked, it's to be trusted by the few who matter. You don't need the whole room. You need the right eyes watching you stay composed while they lose control. That's how reputations are protected, not by speeches, but by patterns seen by credible people. When you build quiet allies, you also read the map: who repeats rumors, who stays neutral, who values truth. That intelligence becomes leverage. And when they try to smear you, those witnesses become walls, not spectators for you. Now comes the part most men avoid: consequences. Dirty players only respect cost. They want your anger. Give them absence. Dirty players feed on drama because drama creates distraction, and distraction creates mistakes. If you rage, they get content. If you threaten, they get warning. If you argue, they get time to twist the story. Trick 9 is calm consequences, punishment without emotion. Quiet punishment is powerful because it doesn't announce itself. It simply changes the environment. Access is reduced. Privileges are removed. Invitations stop coming. Replies slow down. Support disappears. The door closes, and it closes clean. If it's a workplace issue, you document and escalate properly instead of gossiping. If it's a friendship, you stop rewarding disrespect with attention. If it's a relationship dynamic, you remove the benefits that your tolerance was providing. You don't negotiate with manipulation, you price it out. And here's the key, consequences must be timed and precise. Too fast and you look reactive. Too slow and you look weak. But when you act after evidence, after pattern, after calm observation, your move looks inevitable. That's what scares them. Not your emotions, your certainty. Loud men talk about boundaries. Powerful men enforce them. Loud men threaten consequences. Powerful men deliver consequences without speeches. This is how you punish without becoming the villain in their story. You stay polite, brief, and firm, while your actions remove their leverage. You don't need to teach them a lesson. You need to protect your life. When you master calm consequences, you stop being a source of supply, no emotional energy, no chaos, no attention. The manipulator runs out of oxygen. And when they realize they can't provoke drama, they either adapt or disappear. That's the win. And now the final trick, become the kind of man they can't study. Identity is the ultimate defense. This is the final trick, and it isn't a tactic. It's an identity. Because the safest man in a dirty world is the man who can't be studied. Unreadability is the ultimate defense, emotional opacity, minimal disclosure, consistent standards, private execution. You stop broadcasting your next move. You stop leaking your fears. You stop giving enemies a map to your nervous system. Now lock the operating system in your mind. 1. Pause first, starve the trap. 2. Use silence as information control. 3. Frame first, protect reputation like territory. 4. Name the pattern, kill the spell. 5. Cut access without debate. 6. Control timing, never fight on their clock. 7. Weaponize questions, make them prove it. 8. Build controlled alliances, quiet witnesses not loud friends. 9. Deliver calm consequences, punish without emotion. 10. Become untouchable, so they can't read you, bait you, or rewrite you. This is what separates boys from men. Boys chase fairness and donate reactions. Men protect position and collect outcomes. Boys argue to feel right. Men move to stay respected. You are not cruel. You are controlled. You are not loud. You are lethal. You are not naive. You are awake. From this point on, when someone plays dirty, you don't panic. You don't explain. You don't perform. You slow down, you observe, you choose. You speak less, document more, and let your actions do the talking. You don't seek revenge, you enforce standards. Quietly. Cleanly. If this code is yours, comment unbaitable. If you're done being readable, comment untouchable. And if you want more dark self-mastery, silence, discipline, power psychology, strategic masculinity, subscribe. Not for hype. For a higher standard. Let them play dirt. You'll play precise. And when they reach for control, they'll find nothing to grab. The rare man doesn't argue for respect. He builds it in silence. He becomes the storm center. Remember, your calm is your crown, and discipline is your shield always.